Cannabis Common Sense, the show that tells the truth about marijuana and the politics behind its prohibition.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Cannabis Common Sense. Our show is a production of our nonprofit organization, THCF, or the Hemp and Cannabis Foundation, and our affiliated political committee, the Campaign for the Restoration and Regulation of Hemp, or CRRH. We have an exciting show for you tonight. We have some more video from the THCF Medicinal Gardens. Mr. Tim Pate is here to provide melodies and songs of his own composition, or maybe others. I'm not sure. You're going to do your own songs tonight, Tim? All right. We're honored at that. We have some show and tell. We'll be taking your calls here in about another 10 minutes or so, so stay tuned for that. And stay tuned as we bring out our infamous, famous dancing cannabis leaves. Okay. Hey there. Hey, well, welcome to another edition of Cannabis Common Sense. Our first show tonight is from Minnesota's House of Representatives to consider medical marijuana bill. Despite bipartisan support, the governor indicates he may veto it. The Minnesota House Ways and Means Committee approved a medical marijuana bill without debate in a 13-4 vote on Wednesday, which now allow it to head to the House floor for a debate and vote. Senate File 345 was passed by the Minnesota State Senate last year. As Minnesota has a 2-year legislative session, should the House pass the legislation this year, the bill would head to the Governor Tim Pawlenty's desk. If passed, the legislation would create a program to produce cards for qualifying patients through the Minnesota Department of Health that would permit them to possess up to 2.5 ounces of cannabis, and would also provide for the creation of nonprofit organizations to produce up to 12 plants per patient. The measures enjoyed sponsorship and support from both sides of the aisle. Republican Representative Chris De La Forest says of growing Republican support for medicinal cannabis, quote, "To me, this is the ultimate conservative issue. It's about keeping government out of the doctor-patient relationship," end quote. Governor Tim Pawlenty, a Republican, also has indicated he will likely veto any medical cannabis legislation that reaches his desk. In the past, Governor Pawlenty had cited the opposition of law enforcement groups as the primary cause of his opposition to the measure. After Wednesday night's vote, Commissioner of Public Safety Michael Campion, a Pawlenty appointee, stated that, quote, "The governor hasn't changed his position since last year," end quote. Since the Senate passed this legislation last year, the American College of Physicians, the largest organizations of doctors of internal medicine in the country, released a policy paper in support of legal access to medicinal cannabis for seriously ill patients. 12 states already have legalized the medical use of marijuana. Additionally, an initiative in Michigan that would enact medical cannabis laws will be on the ballot this November. Minnesotan supporters of SF 345 may email their state representatives and Governor Pawlenty, and we recommend they go out there and do that right away. Our next and last news story tonight is from the state of Rhode Island. The Rhode Island Senate Committee on Health and Human Services unanimously approved Senate Bill 2693 Wednesday. Senate Bill 2693, along with its companion bill, House Bill 7888, would regulate the distribution of medical marijuana by allowing a non-profit state licensed facility to provide medical marijuana to Rhode Island's licensed patients. Earlier in the week, the committee heard testimony in favor of the bill from state licensed patient Buddy Coolin of Warwick, who was recently robbed at gunpoint while attempting to obtain the cannabis he's permitted under state law. Meanwhile, the Rhode Island House Health, Education, and Welfare Committee held a hearing but took no action on House Bill 7888 on Tuesday. The Senate version was overwhelmingly approved in a committee. The reception was decidedly cooler on the House side. Chairman Joseph McNamara, a Democrat, said that he didn't see a lot of general support for this legislation at this time, while the chief sponsor, Representative Thomas Slater, also a Democrat, said that as a compromise, the creation of a commission to study the problem was likely, with an emphasis on passing legislation next session based on its recommendations. Governor Carcieri vetoed the initial legislation to create a medical cannabis statute in Rhode Island, which was overridden by the legislature. The Democratic dominated legislature had regularly overridden the governor's anti-medical marijuana vetoes in the past. If both the House and the Senate pass different versions of the bill, a conference committee will have to come up with a compromise bill. Given that any bill will likely need the votes to override a veto, it's likely that the final bill would be similar to the House version. And that is the end of our hemp news segment tonight. How are you doing over there, Tim?
I am excellent, Paul. That's just as good a week as it could be. Really.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah, we've got some nice weather here in Portland this week, too.
That's true.
I know we're seen all over the country, but right now it's like 72 degrees and really nice outside.
I know. Spring is
popping up all over the place. It really is.
Spring sprung. That's a good thing.
Yep. I think I'll play a little music. I think you've got some nice pictures to show behind me, as usual.
I think we do.
I never get to see them. I'm always busy playing the music, you know. But I know these things happen.
One of these days.
Yeah, one of these days.
All right. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Got all my props set up out here now. So, hey, we're ready to take your phone calls. If you got a question for us tonight regarding ending adult marijuana prohibition, restoring industrial hemp, or helping medical marijuana patients, then call us at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. I almost gave out my cell phone number there. I don't want to do that. Don't call me there. Call us at 503-288-4448. Got a lot of hemp food items out here tonight for our show and tell. A couple new ones I found as I went through the health food store today. So we'll talk more about that in a minute. We do have a phone call. Hello, caller. You're on the show.
Hey, Paul.
Hello, caller.
Paul, you there?
Yes.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Very well. How are you?
Good. So what I wanted to ask you about tonight is you frequently go to Hawaii, and I would like to know if there's some way that we could sponsor some kind of like chain letter situation where we can write to the tourist guide in Hawaii and let them know that there's a lot of medicinal patients that would like to take their medicine with them, and since Hawaii relies so much on their tourist trade, that it's probably a wise thing for us to circulate and sign and send to them.
There was a bill in the Hawaii legislature that would have allowed people to take their medical marijuana with them and travel with it there, and it's still, I think, up in committee. If you like to support it, I recommend you contact the Drug Policy Forum of Hawaii, and it's Pam Lichty at the Drug Policy Forum of Hawaii, who is a primary lobbyist for changes in the medical marijuana bill there. It was the Drug Policy Forum of Hawaii, or DPF-8 Hawaii, that passed the medical marijuana bill to start with in a legislative session back, about 8 years ago. And so the initial physician who had founded the Drug Policy Forum of Hawaii, Donald Topping, passed away about 5 years ago. And Pam Lichty has been doing a good job in lobbying there. So I recommend supporting her and asking her how we could help get that through there.
Excellent. Thank you.
There you go.
You're welcome. Hope that helps.
That was good information. You had that right on the tip of your tongue.
Well, I go out there quite a bit. I know
Sure.
Pam Lichty, and we've got a clinic there, so I could tell you about all the states we operate in and their state programs in pretty good detail. That's why I have to become an expert to help teach the patients.
It makes a difference if you know what you're talking about.
You have to deal with it, and Pam Lichty's been doing a great job. There is a bill out there. Can't remember the bill number right off the top of my head.
She'll know.
Yeah, she will. So just check out the Drug Policy Forum of Hawaii. And they're doing some
So did you travel this week, or you stay here in town?
I was in Seattle this week. I didn't go very far compared to some of the travels lately, but someone else in our office went out to Bend, and we worked 2 days out in Bend and a few days in Seattle. Of course, we work every week in Seattle now, 2 or 3 days up there. So.
I was in Seattle this week myself.
Oh, all right.
So last 2 weeks ago you were in L.A. and I was in L.A.
That's right. We're kind of trailing each other just separately, traveling in our own circles and for our own purposes, but
I was up
accomplishing the greater good.
It's true. I was up for the core staff meeting for the Seattle Hemp Fest, and that was Tuesday night, and also got a chance to meet with Gibson Guitars for a while.
All right.
And play
Those are
some
the
of their
folks that sponsor your
they
guitars
are.
and
Yes.
giveaways. And
Yes, they have. They bought out Garrison Guitars last year, and so I was up to talk to them about perhaps chance in sponsoring us at Hemp Stock and Hemp Fest and the Imperial Valley Hemp Fest down in Southern California, and maybe our trip to China when we do that.
All right.
So we never can tell, but I thought the meeting went well, and it's always nice to play a really pretty Gibson guitar. That's a nice thing to do. So,
I bet.
Yeah, I enjoyed myself. But travel, and you've got clinics. Where are you going next week?
Spokane.
Are you?
Got a couple days in Spokane. I'll probably spend a day traveling through Seattle. We've got to hire some people in Seattle, some staff turnovers and things like that. So,
how many states are you operating in now?
We just opened in Las Vegas, Nevada, which makes our 6th state.
There you go.
So we keep expanding. We haven't had our first clinic in Nevada yet, but I think in sometime before the summertime, we'll start seeing patients there in Las Vegas.
I hope it's air conditioned.
Oh, it certainly will be. I've already found the office space out in western Las Vegas near, I think it's the Red Rock Casino, which is kind of one that stands off on its own, far away from the Strip.
Closer to the gorge in that direction.
Yeah, when I was out there, they had Earth, Wind, and Fire was going to play there that night. Well, I wish I could stay for that show. But
I'm trying to bring them for a show we're doing down in Southern California. So
good luck. They're hot. I've always been a big
I agree.
Earth, Wind, and Fire fan myself.
That would be a lot of fun just to see them play.
That's true. I saw him on New Year's on ABC. I guess we have a caller, though. Hello, caller. You're on the show. Hello, caller.
We lost him.
We tried.
There was a chance.
That's true. This is your chance. If you need to call us to ask a question, make a comment, call us at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. You might get through. We want to show our viewers
we've got some Hemp News right here.
If you would like a copy of our Hemp News newspaper, come to our office at 105 Southeast 18th. That's 105 Southeast 18th. Or you can go to any library here in Multnomah County and pick up a copy. Or you can call us at that number there on your screen, 503-235-4606. It does have some pretty
articles
some pretty
and ads and
lots of interesting
pictures of hemp
stuff.
stock and
News.
There's a picture of Willie and
it's on the centerfold.
It's got a centerfold.
Yep.
There's the centerfold. That's quite a centerfold, actually.
It is. It's pretty big.
That's some might find that rather sexy, I think. We better be careful with that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. We do have another caller, though. Hello, caller. You are on our show.
Hello?
We hear you.
My name's Eric.
Hello, Eric.
Yes, I'm a card holder.
Great.
Couple years. Thank you for all the work you guys are doing.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
I currently got a possession of marijuana thing camping up in the Mount Hood area.
Oh, my goodness. So this is a federal ticket?
Yes, only for possession.
Have you ever had any other
No, I'm absolutely clear on the record.
charges? Under federal law, simple possession of marijuana by a first-time offender is a misdemeanor. And it
correct.
could carry up to 6 months in jail, but there is no mandatory minimum jail sentence. So the judge doesn't have to sentence you to jail, and probably will not, because he doesn't have to.
Right. And, I'm going to try to say, I needed my meds. It was like a 5-day trip, and, he did pull my meds from me, and it was only for possession, and it's kind of terrible. The guy was really cool and stuff during the thing, but it's a $500 misdemeanor fine. But I go to the mountains so much for 3 to 5 days that if this occurs on a third time, it could be a felony, and I'd lose my growing privileges. So that's why I have to.
Well, if it's simple possession, you wouldn't lose your growing privileges.
Correct.
The law would only kick in Oregon that if you are selling marijuana or distributing marijuana, it wouldn't, and you violate those Oregon laws. Simple possession would not cause your medical marijuana license to be in jeopardy here in Oregon.
Right, on the first and second, they're misdemeanors only. But on the third,
actually, under federal law, your second and subsequent offense is a felony. So if you were arrested a second time under federal law, you would be subjected to a mandatory minimum 30 days in federal custody. And if you're convicted a third time of simple possession, even for one bud or something, then you would be subjected to a mandatory minimum of 6 months in federal custody. That's the way the federal laws currently work. Now, Representative Barney Frank of Massachusetts, for the first time ever, has introduced a federal bill to decriminalize possession of marijuana under federal law. And so we're very hopeful that is in fact going to, happen.
I've been looking up some really good things, and the clause they're kind of using is, if you really needed to medicate while you were away from home, no matter what kind of medication, on a 5-day trip, you're going to have to kind of do the evil but not evil, but right thing for you, but kind of wrong thing. And it's worked in a few other states. I believe Cal did it once, and that's what I'm going to try to do here in Oregon. I'm coming up on 5/2 for a hearing date and try to beat it, because I go to the mountains so much, and I take my medication.
Well, I just recommend you don't plead guilty. You just fight it. And even though they try to, maybe the cop won't show up, maybe you showing your permit might have some effect on the judge.
I believe so, yes, sir.
Maybe you might come up with a judge that's a strong believer in the state law.
Got to give it a shot, man. I sure wish some of you folks were in the background giving me a yippee-yahoo on something.
Yeah, you could also consider taking edible cannabis products with you, things that the police would never suppose what's in that cookie or that brownie there.
Correct. Yes.
But if you want to
help, I believe during the situation,
just be careful out there, and if there's anything we can do to help you, call our office at 503-235-4606.
Once you know what's going to happen, too, call the show back and let us know how it comes out.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I want to hear about it.
And stuff.
All right, well, good luck with that.
That's on 5/2. I'm going to go to the court thing, and I needed to use my meds, camping out on federal land, and see what it's all about.
Yep.
It could be a good one.
It could be. You could break ground for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Good work, guys.
All right. Good work on your part. The more of us who stand up and fight these things, the sooner this whole house of cards is going to fall.
This is really close. I don't know how many people have done this in Oregon, but I'm kind of scared. And
I went through a federal trial, not for simple possession. In the end, I was just found guilty of simple possession.
Right.
But it was a full-blown cannabis cultivation case. If I had not been acquitted, I would have done a 10-year mandatory minimum sentence.
Yep, that's.
And it was quite stressful while the jury was out on that.
I'm only scared about losing growing privileges, and
you think?
I'll tell you, I know what stress is now.
On this, as I keep rolling to the mountain and medicating as I need to.
I understand. Well, I do too.
Okay,
The other thing is vaporizers. You could be vaporizing and they'd never even guess what you were doing.
Yeah, I got to run my generator a lot on that. It's a little noisy. If I put an extra muffler on there, I think you can quiet it down.
There's a new one that's battery operated that a friend of mine has shown me works real well.
Yeah, I'm waiting to get that.
Yeah, they work real well.
That's awesome. I heard about those at the show and down on the river.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They are now at the upcoming Million Marijuana March, and I just want to show you a nifty poster that Oregon Normal has come up with for the Million Marijuana March. It's coming up on May 3rd. You'll find many vapor products there. A lot of vaporizers and different kinds of vaporizers, including some of those portable ones.
Yep.
So you want to check that out.
I missed the last few, and I really have to show up.
Isn't that a neat poster?
Even if you're a card holder and you don't want to show up to these things, we got to show up.
That's right. You don't have to be a card holder for the Million Marijuana March. Now, tomorrow there is a card holder only meeting that Oregon Normal puts on at the Mount Tabor Theater at the corner of Southeast 49th and Hawthorne Boulevard. Now, that requires that you be a Oregon medical marijuana card holder, and if you are, you're liable to get some free plants and some free medicine. You do have to be a member of Oregon Normal, though.
When people are bringing clones and extra goodies and extra meds for folks, you guys kind of letting them get an early bird slot, kind of?
Yeah, they are.
Again a little bit.
You want to be there before 11:30.
Okay.
Yeah, be there, because if you're there after 11:30, the odds are you aren't going to get in.
Okay.
So, but I wouldn't get there much earlier than 11 myself, but you just have to stand around and wait.
Right up front.
There's some long lines there sometimes.
Yes, there
but
are.
I'll tell you, it certainly is a lot of fun. And,
you got to have it open for the far away folks, man. You know, other Portland folks make a little room for the Bend and southeastern Oregon and people that are far away.
True. Yeah,
but it's good if they speak up and say, I've been driving for hours, and there you go. You can go in instead of me today.
Makes sense to me.
If they drive so far, you know.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I hate to see somebody who's driven a long way get turned away.
That. I'm going to give it a shot.
All right. Well, thanks for calling. Keep up the fight and let us know how that goes.
Yeah, really.
All right. See ya.
Thanks. If you're out there and you have a question for us, call us at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. We already have another caller. Hello, caller. You're on our show.
You there?
Oh, that was the wrong signal.
Oh well.
They all thought it was a caller.
Yep. What you got up here tonight?
You know, we got a new kind of cereal right over here. Let's start over towards your end here.
All
we
right.
have this nifty,
take that
what
one.
is it? It's ginger hemp granola
like that.
from Peace Cereal. It's USDA certified organic, and 10% of the profits are donated to Create Peace. Hey, that's a good thing.
It is.
And they talk about the healthy hemp. Hemp is considered controversial, but consider this. Hemp seeds provide omega-3 essential fatty acids, which cannot be manufactured by the body and must be obtained from foods. And it isn't available through very many foods, so get it through hemp granola. This is,
I feel like Vanna White.
Yeah. And then we've got the nifty Venus flytrap here.
This is
an organic way
pull
to
this out like that. That's on this camera right there.
To wipe out pests in your garden. Just get a Venus flytrap. I understand it's
great idea.
Very useful. We also have, this has been on our show a number of times, our Hemp Plus granola from Nature's Path. That's Hemp Plus granola.
See that right there?
Yeah, pretty nifty.
Ta-da.
Then here, from Prairie Emerald in Canada, I take 7 of these a day. These are hemp capsules, and it's hemp seed oil. That's non-psychoactive, no THC in it, but it has omega-6 and omega-3 and even omega-9, which is really healthy for you, and that's why I take these every single day. And then here's hemp nuggets. These are hulled hemp seeds. Tastes kind of like a cross between sunflower seeds and walnuts or pecans. It has that walnut or pecan flavor in there a little bit. And we have 2 different versions of hemp milk, both produced in Canada. You know, it's illegal to grow hemp in the United States. So all of these things have to be imported, and they're all coming from Canada right now. We have Manitoba Harvest. This is Hemp Bliss, a blissful part of your day, they say, which again has omega-3 and 6 essential fatty acids and highly digestible hemp protein. Then next door we have blissfully good hemp milk from Hemp Life. What is that? Living Harvest. That's it. living harvest. Tonight we have both chocolate flavors. And finally here, we have hemp flour. Again, from Prairie Emerald and hempcanada.com. And the hemp flour is a protein-enriched, gluten-free, whole-grain flour that has the nutty flavor of hemp in a wide you can put in a wide variety of baked goods. And it's an excellent source of protein containing all the essential amino acids. So there you have it.
Very
Healthy hemp.
Now, not really to plug any particular store, but can you get all of these locally?
Oh, yeah. And I picked up, well, the Prairie Emerald products I got through the internet. And like I said, I like the hemp seed oil. I like having it in a capsule. If you have it in a jar, they tend to oxidate. You got to keep it refrigerated, and it's a little messier. The capsule, you just take
It's
one.
quick.
Yeah, so I find the capsules a little more convenient for taking with my other vitamins and supplements that I take in a day. I just add that in there along with some fish oil, which also has omega-3 and 6. So you get the plant source from fish oil, the plant source from hemp, and the animal source from fish, and combine them both.
You're going to need some source of fish oil.
Whole thing.
Definitely.
All those healthy things. So if you're out there and you have a question for us tonight, it is the 12th of April, 2008. Then you can call us at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448.
If this is 412, that means 420 is coming up.
It's coming up not a week from Sunday.
Yes, it is.
So that's going to be. So I know that on 420, we are going to have a potluck at our office.
There you go.
So it's open to the public. It's a volunteer thing. We're hoping you'll bring. A potluck means to bring a food dish.
That's right.
And, it should be fun. So come on down at 420 on April 20th at our office at 105 Southeast 18th Avenue. That's April 20th at 4:20 p.m. at 105 Southeast 18th Avenue. And I think you'll have some fun. We have another caller. Hello, caller. You're on the show.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you this evening?
Good.
Hey, very well. How are you tonight?
I'm very well also. Had a quick question.
Okay.
With all those food products up there, Paul, could you elaborate a little bit on what all can be harvested in 1 acre of hemp? What all the amounts of different products you would get?
Thank
my
you.
word.
I love to elaborate on that.
That's a big
you
question.
Probably know it's been a while. What I like to tell people is 1 acre of hemp can deliver. You'll harvest, according to a study in the Midlands Naturalist out of Notre Dame University, 4 tons or over 8,000 pounds of hemp. That's based on a study they did in 1975 called Feral Hemp in southern Illinois. And they found that they can get 8,000 pounds or about 4 tons of hemp seed per acre. Now, when you press 4 tons of hemp seed, you get 350 gallons of oil and 3 tons of hemp protein left over, the hemp flour, just like is available here. And so this is a byproduct of pressing the hemp seed for its oil. And so you have 3 tons of this. It's high protein, very healthy for you. It's also good for animals to eat as well. So that's just from the hemp seed. The byproduct of growing hemp seed is per acre 25 tons of hemp hurd fiber. That's the interior woody core of the hemp stalk, and that makes hemp paper and fiberboard. And then the outer bark, or the bast hemp fiber, B-A-S-T, is used to make canvas, rope, lace, and linen, and there's 6 to 10 tons of hemp bast fiber. So in addition to the 300 gallons of oil, 3 tons of high-protein hemp seed food, you get 25 tons of hemp paper and 6 to 10 tons of hemp canvas, rope, lace, or linen. And the byproduct of all that is the leaves fall back in the soil, and they draw up subsoil nutrients and make them available in the topsoil for the next year's crop. So there it is. I'm glad you asked.
Also discovered that the plant itself will remove heavy metals from the soil.
Right.
There are, in the herd itself, when I worked with CNS Specialty Builder Supply, we discovered that there were huge numbers of byproducts available in the herd, and in other words, you could turn the herd into viscose, and you could create anything out of that viscose. You could extrude it and put it in an extruder and make all kinds of things. Now there are furfurols in the glue in the herd. Furfurol is an industrial glue. At the highest natural concentration of furfurols in it, and so, the products. Just those 3 or 4 products right there mean millions of different products, because they can all be turned into other things. It's just raw material.
Exactly, Tim. That brings up another point. You were talking about all the things that you could do with it, extruding it, etc. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't plastic made from hemp be a biodegradable and sustainable form of plastic?
Yes.
Yes.
It is. And you can get some hemp plastic products from hempplastic.com. They've got plastic CD holders. They've got a little frisbee-like, flying disc made from hemp seed oil. And so there's more and more of them out there. Those are from the UK.
The reason I'm mentioning this is you've impressed me enormously with all the different things that you can do with an acre of hemp. And I was just watching on the news tonight how rice is going through the roof. And it used to be an old joke in my family that, if somebody asked a question that you didn't want to answer, you said, well, what's that got to do with the price of rice in China? Well, guess what? Now, our impact on the price of rice in China could be substantial if we could just grow hemp.
Well, the Chinese never quit growing hemp. And I've traveled through China, and I studied in China for a couple of years, and speak and read and write Mandarin and Chinese. And I can tell you that hemp is still widely used as a fuel in the diesel engines, and hemp seed is used as a snack, and it's a common food. And people commonly use it there, even though they passed a law at the behest of the United States in '62 to make cannabis, the drug, illegal.
Over there, they call it green medicine.
Yeah.
That's their term for it.
Excellent. Because that's all it is.
Exactly.
Nothing but an herb. And what's wrong with an herb? Don't we use herbs to season our foods, for Pete's sake?
Yeah, and for us that read the Bible, it says right in there that in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, that God gave humans every herb-bearing seed on the planet, and it shall be as meat. And this hemp flower has a lot of protein that can be used as meat.
Amen.
And it was good, he ends up there saying.
If we didn't have to use grains to feed cattle and hogs and sheep and so forth, those grains that would normally be used to feed those animals could then be used for human consumption. If we could just get off this I gotta eat meat thing.
Yeah, if we drove our cars on hemp seed oil, the byproduct of all this hemp flour would feed the world.
There you go.
We'll wipe out global hunger and wipe out global warming and provide a new fuel source as soon as we legalize industrial hemp and regulate adult use of marijuana.
They wouldn't have to be eating mud cakes in Haiti like they are this week.
Amen.
Yeah.
I saw pictures of little kids that were scraping up rocks and stuff off the ground just to get the pieces of the kernels of rice that got spilled at the distributor.
Yes, that's what happens in a famine and a waste like that.
And it's pitiful.
It's not necessarily a famine. That's economic. That's politically driven.
There's plenty of food. We just got to get it to them somehow.
Absolutely. And this is, correct me again if I'm wrong, guys, but in my view, this is the time to make the earth green.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what we're working at. We're working to end adult marijuana prohibition through our political committee's Cannabis Tax Act petition. You can go out to cannabistaxact.org. That's cannabistaxact.org. We're going to try to put it on the ballot for a vote here in November 2010.
Yes.
And if funding allows, we'll put it on the ballot in other places. So stay tuned. If we can get that to pass, come 2011, we will make Oregon green, and pretty soon the whole world after that.
Amen, brother.
Thank you, bud.
All right. Well, thanks for calling. We're going to roll a film clip now.
Have a good night, guys.
All right, thank you. And I hope you enjoy this clip. This is a viewer Bud Slideshow, so stay tuned, and we'll talk a little bit about it after you see it. Enjoy.
When peace like a river attends my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, you taught me to say, it is well, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. And Lord, haste the day when trouble comes, and I know I just can't run. Well, I still need to know His peace at hand. I need to know that all is well. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul.
Well, there was a song by someone we know and love.
It was
Jim Pate.
I did do
It's,
that.
Some nifty shots. Somebody's doing something right in
I got to finally watch me play and look at the. You're right. That's beautiful playing.
It is. It is.
Beautiful
Nice song.
medicine.
And then the odd thing is, it's the same song that you played
I was doing
without
that.
singing at the
Yes.
opening part of the,
Yeah. Go
the
figure.
show. So
I didn't plan on
it
that.
was
It just
synchronistic.
happens. These things are just planned. You know, they happen
Yep.
that way sometimes.
That's true. It
That's
was
nice.
meant to be. I guess we have a caller. Hello, caller. You are on the show. Hello, caller.
I was going to ask you, Paul, about LCD lights.
Uh-huh. I understand they work pretty well, that they use less power, and they're pretty efficient. I haven't really used them myself, so I can't give you any first-hand knowledge on them. I'm going to have to do a little bit more study to become a little bit more familiar with them, so I can talk.
Do you know anybody that's using them?
I don't really know anybody who's using it right now.
What do you know about them?
Oh, I just see them and advertised. They don't make any heat, and they're not that expensive. And they're equivalent to about a 600-watt HPS.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a good set of qualities.
It does. Sounds like it has some advantages to it.
Yeah. So
well, why don't you do it and let us know?
All righty.
All right. I guess we have someone in the audience that would like to comment on just that subject.
Hang on. Listen.
Hey, hi there, Wolfie. What you got to say?
Are we live on this one? Can I be heard?
I think so.
Okay. The problem with LEDs is that what you're looking for...
I think he said LCDs.
I'm pretty sure he was...
Anyway, LEDs, yeah.
Okay.
The LED lights.
Yeah, it pretty much has to be LEDs that he was talking about. Is that when you're measuring light and how much of it you're getting, you're measuring, if you're measuring properly, micro Einsteins per square meter over a unit of time. And that's micro Einsteins of photosynthetically effective or active radiation. Mm-hmm. What you get per watt from LEDs doesn't give you micro Einstein, anywhere near what you're going to get off of, at this point, state-of-the-art is ceramic halide.
What would it compare to? You any idea? Percentage-wise?
Take it way, way down. I don't have a specific percentage, but yeah, it drops off way lower in terms of how much photosynthetically active radiation is delivered per watt, per dollar.
So in
invested.
other words, you would need to kick up the number of lamps.
Yeah, it would take a truly ridiculous number. Even with the improvements that have happened in the last year in LEDs, within the next 3 years, if they keep going at the rate that they have been, then yeah, they'll be really a sensible thing. Mm-hmm. But right now, ceramic halide is pretty much it.
Okay, there you go.
All right. Expert.
We do have experts in the audience.
The camera.
We have a live audience.
Wolfie was the manager of Hydrotech's Portland store way back when, before the federal Operation Green Merchant made him a ward of the state for a period of time.
That's true.
But he's a free man today. And thanks, Wolfie.
Yep.
Appreciate that. We've had him here playing a little bit of music.
We have
his harmonica.
That's right.
So if you're out there tonight and you have a question for us, you can call us. We've got about 15 minutes or so where we can take more questions. That's at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. Now, for those of you out there that are wondering about the alternative of medical marijuana, then this is what the conditions that qualify for medical marijuana. Chronic pain and severe pain is the largest single category. There's also chronic and severe nausea. Both of those qualify, as do AIDS and gastrointestinal ailments that cause spasms and nausea, like IBS and Gert's disease and Crohn's disease. And then cancer, of course, qualifies, as do spastic disorders like multiple sclerosis and asthma, and seizure disorders like epilepsy. And hepatitis is exclusively put into the Washington law, and it's covered under Oregon's law as a condition that causes chronic pain and chronic nausea. So if you're out there and you think you or a loved one might find medicinal use with medical marijuana, then stand by. We're going to talk about ways that you can help find a doctor who can help you get medical marijuana here in just a moment. But we do have another phone call. Hello, caller. You're on the show. Oh, they had their chance to be on the show.
They did have a chance.
But they blew it.
Yep. I hear ringing, though, in the background.
That's true. That means the next person has their shot.
Right here. Very good.
Can only be a good thing.
That's true. That's true.
For you medical card holders out there, if you currently have your card, tomorrow, Saturday, the 13th, is the second Saturday of the month, and therefore it's the Oregon Normal second Saturday meeting. And you can go down to the Mount Tabor Theater at the corner of Southeast 39th and Hawthorne, and you want to be there no later than 11:30. I plan on getting there about 11, and no later than 11:30 to get in, because they do lock the doors, and the meeting starts at high noon, and once they lock the doors, you can't get in.
That's right.
So you want to be there a little bit early, and you have to be a medical marijuana card holder and be a member of Oregon NORML. But if you're not currently a member, you can become a member at the door for a minor fee. And outside of that, once you've got your membership, you can come back for free for a whole year. And they have 2 of them each month, on the 2nd and the 4th Saturday of each month. They're at Mount Tabor Theater.
You know, speaking of meetings, we're also going to have a meeting for hemp stock for the volunteers and the core staff on Sunday, and that will be at 1 o'clock, and that will also be at the clinic.
Yep.
And if you'd like to be there, if you're wanting to volunteer, or if you'd like to find out more about us, please show up. It's very informative, and we have a lot of business to cover. I know that we're collecting bands and names of bands and stuff like that, and we definitely have a few of our friends returning. I know that the Herbivores are going to be back this year, and I'm really glad about that. And
Keith Stropp will be there to speak this year for
Yes,
the
he
first
will.
time. We just lined up Jack Hare, so Jack's
excellent. That's
going to
wonderful
be there.
news. That's wonderful news.
Yeah, that is a good thing. So
it'll be a very
get ready
exciting
for that.
show. A new location with a lot more room, a lot more booths, and
Yep.
we've got a lot more volunteers too already involved this year. So I'm really
Chris
pleased.
Conrad and Mickey Norris will be there for the first time as well. So
Some of the best speakers in our industry, and most knowledgeable people out there. I'm really pleased to have them in our show. That'll be good.
Me too. They've been putting out a new publication down in the Bay Area. That's the West Coast Leaf, and it's a pretty nifty one.
Good.
We have another caller. Hi, caller. You're on our show.
Yeah, the question I have is, it seems to me there seems to be a difference in opinion as to the marijuana that you're talking about growing as a crop and using for all sorts of byproducts, and then the marijuana that you smoke, i.e. the medicinal purposes. Can you get both of those from the same crop, or are they two different, completely different subjects?
You know, there are a lot of people that will tell you they're completely different, but the fact of the matter is, it is the same plant. While you have a wide variation between different species of hemp or marijuana, some of it will produce little THC, some of it will produce a great deal, some of it will produce more CBD, some of it won't, and so, but it is cannabis sativa that we're talking about, the same plant that's just different strains and varieties of that same plant.
When we were investigating the industrial uses of it, we discovered that there were over 200 different genetic varieties that the DEA had gathered at Ohio University, and that they were using that genetic base for their studies. And we also discovered that there were long-standing traditions overseas in Poland and Czechoslovakia and Romania and China, India, that had different types of hemp plants and different strains for their different products. If they were wanting to make a fine linen, they grew this type. If they wanted oil, they grew this type. If they wanted the seed for the food, they grew this type. If they wanted it for hashish, they grew this type. And so the genetics matter too. And you can obviously you can pinpoint exactly what type of product you're wanting with this and grow that variety. But one of the things that you do when you grow industrially is you plant nearly 3,000 seeds to the square foot. Yeah. The thing is just, I mean, it's a mass of biomass. Right. And so it's not really conducive to grow the type of buds that you want.
Stems.
You're growing for stalks and stems. You're growing for the mass.
Right, and that's the main question I have is all of the products that you're putting forth tonight with all the things you showed earlier. Mm-hmm. Those products aren't necessarily able to be produced at the same time that you produced Howard Stern's balls in your mouth.
Right. Exactly, and one of the things that we discovered,
crazy guy there with a rude comment there at the very end. But the fact of the matter is,
but it was a good question.
Hemp seed oil does produce. When you're growing hemp for seed, you don't pack it together the way that you do, and it's the same plant. There's a lot of folks out there that vehemently disagree and want to separate industrial hemp from marijuana. But as long as marijuana is illegal, and we're limited to these low THC strains that produce just a fraction of what feral hemp is capable of producing. Hemp will be prohibitively expensive, and it won't reach its natural potential.
Sure.
Once marijuana is legally regulated, then we'll see industrial hemp become a primary source of fuel, fabric, and fiber, and take over. We have another caller, though. Hello, caller. You're on the show.
Hi, Paul.
Yes.
I have a question. To come down and view the show in person and the after hours party, my husband's a card holder, but I'm not a caretaker or card holder.
You're welcome. It's not limited at our show or at our after show party that you be a medical marijuana card holder.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
Are
come
you
on
doing
down.
that every Friday?
Yeah.
Yep, we have a live audience. Let us know you're here, live audience.
Hey, live audience.
We support you. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think we're the only cable access show that has a regular once-a-week live audience.
I believe you're right, and we're probably the only one who spreads it out over half the country, too.
That's
like
true.
We have done.
That's true.
I'm amazed at the network.
Other cities here in Oregon, up in Washington, and in Colorado.
It's true.
And it's out there on the internet. It's amazing
is.
how many people overseas watch it. You know, in Britain and Japan and all over the world.
It's a big good thing.
That's true. That's true.
Uh-oh,
Hey, you know,
silence.
if you, we were talking to a fellow a bit ago talking about federal charges. He'd been caught with some marijuana up in the hills at the Mount Hood Forest. Another thing is there's the religious right to use cannabis, and the Church of Cognitive Therapy could offer a valid defense. There is a federal bill that passed, the Freedom of Religion Act, that could help end federal charges. So you might check with the Church of Cognitive Therapy and their website.
Do we have a number for them?
You know, I don't right off the top of my head, and I can't hardly see these little...
Reverend Levon Wyan.
So I can't really say. Just do a search for the Church of Cognitive Therapy. We have another caller, though. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I just want to tell you guys you're doing a great job, and I had a quick question for you. I just recently became a caregiver for a patient, trying to help her grow her medicine. And my question is, can I get into the normal meeting on the Saturdays in her place with the card? Because she doesn't have the time and the ability to get down there.
Yes, you bring your card and bring your ID, and yes, you can.
And $35 is it?
For an annual membership in Oregon Normal, that's what they charge. Yeah.
Okay, would that be under her name or under my name?
Your name. Your name to be a member.
Thank you very much. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. Thanks for that call.
I got a call from Madeline Martinez, the local director
of Oregon Normal,
and also
great lobbyist on behalf of medical marijuana patients.
We could talk about Madeline for a whole show.
That's true.
But anyway, she did.
For a few calls.
Yeah, she called the other day. She said that there's a new law that has passed concerning the number of plants that each individual caregiver or provider can have and patients they can provide for at one location.
So, for instance, I'm a caregiver right now for 25 patients.
Yes.
But I'm going to have to change the way those cards are allocated because I will soon, as of I think it's July 1st, have to cut back to only being a caregiver for 4 patients.
Yes.
And so, however, you still no limit on the number of people who can grow at one location. So it's just simply a matter of changing the name on those people's cards. So if you're one of my patients out there, don't worry. I'm not going to drop you because of this. We will work it out.
Yep, but you need to be aware the law is changing on July the 1st.
Yeah.
And it's good to always know ahead of time. Ignorance is not bliss in this case.
That's true. Well, I want to just tell you that if you're out there and you are looking for a physician to help you get a medical marijuana permit, well, we can help. We have doctors all across the western United States, including Oregon, Washington, California, Hawaii, Colorado, and now Nevada, and dozens of doctors across the state of California. So if you need help finding a physician who can help you or a loved one get a medical marijuana permit, then you can call us. Here in Portland, our phone number is 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606. If you're up in Seattle, the Seattle number is 206-878-1701. That is 206-878-1701. 1701 for the fine folks up there in the Emerald City of Seattle. If you're out in the Mile High City of Denver, Colorado, where this is the #1 cable access show, then you can call us at our Denver office at 303-403-9996. That's 303-403-9996 for the state of Colorado and the city of Denver. And if you are in Southern California, you can call our Riverside, California office at 951-782-9898. That's 951-782-9898. If you're interested in Hawaii, Nevada, any place else outside the metropolitan area, Portland, Denver, and Seattle, then you can call our toll-free number at 1-800-723-0188. That's 1-800-723-0188. Well, Tim is now taking place at his guitar, and he's ready to launch his song and wrap this show up. I want to thank you for tuning in to another week of Cannabis Common Sense. Tune in next week. I think this is show 445. Is that right? 445. Next week we'll do 446. So tune in every Friday night at 8 p.m. if you're here in the Portland area, or go to our website at hemp.org. That's www.hemp.org, and help us restore hemp. Thanks for watching.